Have you ever stopped to think about the complex world that's hidden just behind your walls? I mean, right there, behind the drywall, is this whole network of pipes. And every single connection, every joint, is governed by this surprisingly deep system of rules, of craft, and of science. So let's pull back the curtain and uncover the invisible laws that keep water flowing exactly where it should and our homes standing strong.
Okay, first up, let me ask you something. When a brand new building goes up today, could be a house, could be an apartment block, how long is it actually legally expected to last and function properly? What do you think? 20 years? Maybe 50?
The answer, believe it or not, according to Swedish building law, is 100 years, a full century. Now that's assuming, of course, that it gets normal maintenance over its lifetime, but still, 100 years. And a huge, huge part of hitting that century-long target comes down to one of the most critical systems in any building, the plumbing. I mean, think about it. One tiny, persistent leak can compromise the entire structure. So getting it perfect from day one isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely non-negotiable.
So how in the world do you guarantee a pipe joint will last for decades? Well, it all starts with the official rulebook. And it's not just one book. It's more like a pyramid of interlocking rules, all built for quality and safety.
Right at the top of that pyramid, you've got the big national laws that set that ambitious 100-year goal. Then, one level down, building regulations get a little more specific. But it's at the base, where the actual work happens, that you find the really detailed industry rules, like Sikker Vatten, which means safe water, that tell a plumber precisely how to build a system that is designed not to fail. But here's the twist, and this is the really interesting part. These incredibly detailed, absolutely essential industry rules, they're technically voluntary. No one can actually force a company to follow them.
So why does every single professional plumber in the country stick to them so religiously? Well, it's because the insurance companies demand it. If you want to be insured against water damage, you have to prove the job was done according to these so-called voluntary best practices. It's a really clever system, right? Professional standards and financial risk do the job, ensuring everyone follows the rules, not just the law itself.
Okay, so that's the rulebook. But how does all that theory translate into the real world? Let's talk about the actual craft, the hands-on skill of joining two copper pipes together so they never ever leak. You've basically got three main ways to do it. There's hard soldering and soft soldering. They both use heat to melt a filler metal and create a super strong bond. And then there are modern mechanical couplings, which are often called solder-free connections. We're going to focus on soldering for a minute, because it's so much more than just a craft. It's actually applied physics. There is this fascinating bit of science behind how a perfectly sealed, permanent joint gets made.
It's a technique called capillary soldering. It uses this amazing natural force called capillary action. It's the exact same thing that lets a paper towel suck up a spill against gravity. You create this tiny, super precise gap between the pipe and the fitting, and when you touch molten solder to it, that natural suction just pulls the solder deep into the joint, filling every last microscopic space. And it works in any direction, up, down, sideways, doesn't matter. And getting this right is everything. I mean, if you do it correctly, capillary action does all the heavy lifting, and you get a bond that is incredibly strong. But if you do it wrong, like if you just kind of melt solder onto the outside, you don't get that capillary action. The joint has almost no strength. It might look sealed on the surface, but it's really just a failure waiting to happen.
So, to get that perfect joint every single time, professionals follow a strict 5-step ritual. First, the surfaces have to be perfectly cleaned and degreased. Then, a chemical called flux is applied. The joint is heated evenly. The solder is applied to the hot joint, never directly into the flame. And finally, all the leftover residue is cleaned away. Every step, every time.
And the rules get even more precise. Take flux, for example. It's an absolute must for soft soldering. But check out this level of detail. You apply it only to the outside of the pipe end that's being inserted, never inside the fitting itself. Why? To make sure no excess flux gets pushed into the pipe system where it could cause problems later. See, every tiny detail matters.
And this deep knowledge extends right down to the metals themselves. For instance, a pro knows that if you're soldering a fitting made of red brass, you can never, ever cool it down quickly with water. That sudden temperature shock can actually create tiny microfractures in the metal alloy, totally compromising the part. It has to cool down naturally, on its own time.
Now, achieving this kind of precision takes more than just skill. It demands technology.
And in this trade, the tools are treated less like simple hardware and more like finely tuned scientific instruments.
Seriously, think of a professional plumbing tool not as something you just buy at a store, but as a calibrated instrument you have to maintain. It's got to have clear instructions, go through routine checks, and hit mandatory service intervals. And that service can't be done by just anyone. It has to be a workshop that's authorized to certify that the tool is performing absolutely perfectly.
And you can really see this philosophy in action with the high-tech press tools used for those solder-free connections. These things are engineered to apply a very precise amount of force to create a perfect mechanical seal, time and time again. So a lot of these tools actually have a digital counter built right in. You might see a number on the screen, something like this. What's that about? Well, it's literally counting every single press the tool makes.
The moment that counter hits a certain preset number, the tool lets you know it's time for mandatory service and recalibration. It's a system designed to make sure that the 10,000th connection it makes is just as flawless and reliable as the very first one. It completely removes the guesswork. It's all about guaranteed performance.
So we've looked at the laws, the science, the craft, and the tools. When you put it all together, what does this invisible system actually guarantee for you in the home that you live in?
What we've really uncovered is this complete, unbroken chain of quality. It stretches all the way from a high-level, 100-year legal mandate, right down to the specific chemistry of flux and the certified calibration of one single hand tool.
And what all of this reveals is an entire invisible system of rules, craft, and technology all working together in the background. It's the quiet guarantee that's built right into your walls, making sure an absolutely essential part of your home is safe, secure, and truly built to last.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, if this much thought and precision goes into something as seemingly simple as a water pipe, what other complex and visible systems are out there quietly and reliably making our modern world work for us every single day?